Hello everyone, welcome back. How you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for Lambgoat and the Moshville Times, and it's that time of the week again for New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And I have 5 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. This week was an absolutely fantastic week for new records. But before I begin, as always, check out the description box below where you will find a Spotify playlist link, which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist because I update that every single Monday as soon as one of these videos goes live. If you don't use Spotify though, you will also find the band's Bandcamp links or their YouTube channels, just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. Also, if you haven't checked it out already, I had the absolutely fantastic opportunity to have a wee chat with John Mayung of Dream Theatre recently. So if you haven't checked that out on my channel, make sure to do so after this video, of course. But like I said, I've got 5 brand new albums that I want to talk about, and I'm just going to jump straight in. Okay, so first up on my list this week, I have Empty Throne with Unholy, and this is the debut album from the melodic, blackened death thrash metal band from the US. Yep, there's a little bit of everything in this record. Black metal, death metal, heavy on the melodics, and really cool old school thrash metal elements. But the thing that really stood out to me the most about this is how brutally evil it sounds. Empty Throne, Unholy, look at that album artwork, everything about this just screams pure evil in the best way possible, and it's such a fantastic record to listen to. It's deeply atmospheric, but there's not really a lot of synth or anything like that in it. It's the guitars that make the atmosphere. It's a very guitar driven record, so you can expect a lot of really heavy melodics and a lot of really cool screaming solos, and it's the tone of the guitar that really creates that evil atmosphere. Not to mention the blast beats. The blast beats in this record are unreal and they just seem to go on forever. Now, the vocal style throughout this record is primarily guttural, but they do alternate between those deep death growls and the rasping, venomous black metal screams. But they also have the odd spoken word element that sounds incredibly demonic and evil, which again ties into the theme of the record and the overall evil kind of ominous sounds that they're going for. So if you are a fan of the likes of Necrophobic, Devastator, God Dethroned, that kind of blackened melodic death metal sound with a lot of really cool thrash elements throughout it, this one is definitely for you. Plus that album artwork is absolutely stunning. Loved everything about this record. This is a fantastic debut. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Black Talon with Scenes of Agony, and this is the second studio album from the Scottish thrash metal band. Now, this is exactly how I like my thrash metal. Old school, no nonsense, straight in your face, bouncy, fun, and incredibly heavy, but ridiculously catchy at the same time. The solos in this record are absolutely unreal, so intricate, so detailed, and they just scream and fly everywhere. Intricate riffs, really cool stompy stomp moments, but it's the melodies that really caught my attention on this, and it screams early Metallica. So if you are a fan of your old school thrash metal with a wee bit of a modern approach to it, which is fun and incredibly addictive, and you are a fan of the likes of early Metallica, Evil, Havoc, Exodus, with a little bit of old school Slayer thrown into the mix, this one is definitely for you. But like I said, old school, jumpy, fun thrash metal through and through, which is what I absolutely love about the subgenre. It's almost like you're transported back in time to that late 80s, early 90s feel of the thrash metal genre. It's very raw, but incredibly powerful and melodic at the same time. Loved everything about this record. It's their first record in 10 years, so go give this a listen and let me know what you think of it, because I honestly think this is one of the best thrash metal albums that I've heard in a long time. Check it out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Burndown Eden with Dismal, Epiphany. This is the fourth studio album from the German melodic technical death metal band. Now, even though this is a melodic technical death metal record, there is a few black metal elements kind of interspersed throughout the record as well. But the thing that I really loved about this is even though the guitar riffs and the solos are incredibly technical, because of the melodics that are on top of that, it flows and blends incredibly well to create this very dynamic, multi-layered sound, which is just beautiful but incredibly brutal at the same time. There is no holding back on this record. It is devastating from the get-go. Flying solos, like I said, intricate riffs, screaming vocals and blast beats that just seem to go on forever. This is an absolutely incredible album. Very densely melodic death metal, but with a lot of really cool technical aspects just to keep things interesting. Now, in terms of melodic death metal, it certainly does fall on the heavier side of that subgenre. So if you are a fan of the likes of the Black Dahlia Murder, At the Gates, Last Year's Upon Stone, this one is definitely for you, but very heavy, intense, melodic death metal with a lot of really cool technical intricacies thrown into the mix there. Plus, again, I love that album artwork. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list, I am probably going to pronounce this incorrectly because it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't pronounce something incorrectly. But I have Skaldr with Samsr? Samsr? I'm not sure, but this is the second studio album from the melodic black metal band from the US. Now, if anybody has followed me for more than 5 minutes on either my social media or on this channel in particular, you'll know that I am a huge fan of my atmospheric melodic black metal. I promote that subgenre all the time on this channel, and this one is no exception to that rule whatsoever. This is classic 90s era black metal with a lot of really dense melodic and atmosphere thrown into the mix. There's something very cold and bleak but raging about this record. Lots of tremolo picking throughout, insane blast beats, eerie vocalizations, rasping venomous vocals, and amazing song structure. On occasion, there is a cleaner style of vocal throughout, but it's very ritualistic. There's something very monastic and demonic and evil about the clean vocals, which again just adds to the atmosphere of this record. Not a lot of synth throughout this. Again, this is a very guitar-driven record, but I think it's the eerie vocalizations in the background that, again, sound like monastic chants and choirs that really adds to that dense atmosphere. Even though it's a very evil-sounding record, there's something very grandiose and triumphant about this as well. So if you are a fan of the likes of Stormkeep, Vorga, Inherits the Void, or Moonlight Sorcery, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But I absolutely loved this record. Melodic black metal seems to be my favourite subgenre at the moment. Love the album artwork for this as well. Definitely check it out. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Guts with Nightmare Fuel. And this is the second studio album from the death metal band from Finland. Now, this is old school death metal with a bit of a modern twist, and the thing that I really loved about this record is how densely groovy it is. It relies on the heavy chugging bass lines and the intense drumming to make this incredibly cool, groovy, stompy stomp kind of sound. I love this about death metal. The groovier, the bassier, the better, and it's ridiculously catchy and addictive. But there's an intense power behind this. The energy is unmatched from beginning to end on this record, and it's going to keep you moving and it's going to keep you hooked throughout its entirety. It's so fun to listen to, despite the fact it's a disgusting, filthy, old school death metal sound. It is so bouncy, so chuggy, and ridiculously groovy and addictive. And before you know it, you're listening to it again. It's one of those albums that you can't help but listen to over and over and over again. If you're a fan of Bolt Thrower, definitely check this one out because it has huge Bolt Thrower vibes. Also, if you are a fan of Chainsword, Frozen Soul, Cannibal Corpse, that kind of chugging, groove-laden, bouncy, yet ridiculously evil and filthy old school death metal, check this one out. This is so much fun. I cannot stop listening to this. It's ridiculous. ridiculously catchy. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records. And if you have your own recommendations, let me know and I will definitely get them added to my list. Once again, if you haven't already, check out my interview with John Myung of Dream Theater. The new Dream Theater album Parasomnia comes out this Friday, so I'll make sure that that interview is linked at the top of the screen somewhere for you guys to check out. I have another interview coming this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's going to be Thursday it goes out, where I will be speaking to none other than Christina Scabia of Lacuna Coil, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on my social media platforms because they're all listed in the description box below. If you want to see any other content, because I know it's just really New Metal Mondays and the occasional interview that I'm putting out at the moment, I will be coming back to my history stuff. I will be going back into rankings and top 10 lists and things like that as soon as possible. But if there's anything else that you want to see within the metal genre, please let me know and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video.